is Benji Cole, son of Al Cole from CBS Radio and host of the syndicated talk show, People of Distinction. A talk that gives you an in-depth view of some of the most dynamic, intelligent, and successful people on the planet. Run to our website, alcoleenterprises.com, for more info. Email me through benji@alcoleenterprises.com if you'd like to get involved with what we have going. And as always, please continue to like and follow our broadcasts. People of Distinction is internationally syndicated solely due to the love and support that you all continue to give. We're available across all major distributors, and as long as you keep following, we're going to continue to put out the content. Now sit back and strap in, because on the line with us today, we have the impressive Kathy Pounds Graham. And we're going to be discussing her incredible book, Hearts of Gold, Broken Bodies, Immeasurable Blessings. It's Amazon, it's Barnes & Noble. Man, it is a whole host of other places, people. I'm telling you, type it into a search bar and be greeted with all of it. Because not only does she have this impressive book, but be on the lookout, man, because coming up very shortly, Kathy has another book that is actually going to be a continuation of this one. So it's going to have similar titles. So that one, Hearts of Gold, Broken Bodies, but the last part of it, Shaped by Challenges. Again, still in creation, not available for purchase just yet, but I promise you, man, you're going to want to pick it up the moment it becomes available. Again, it's Amazon, it's Barnes & Noble, it's Walmart, and there's a whole host of other places. Check it out today. And before I go any further, I want to quickly point out the fact that Kathy was brought to us by one of the best publishing firms in the business, City of Books. So for my writers out there who have gone through their process, man, if you need some assistance moving that book you just developed, head on over to cityofbooks.com and gather all the ways that their fantastic team is going to help you do just that. And listen, it is an absolute pleasure to have Kathy here on the line. Man, the moment you start to do some research on her book, you understand the discussion at hand today, okay? Kathy's unwavering devotion to her sons, Shawn and Jason, it transforms unimaginable struggle into a legacy of hope and change. For any of my parents out there listening in, this is a book for you. And now listen, it's much larger than just for parents, but there's going to be a particular place in each and every one of your hearts. And I know that because as a parent myself, when I was reading her book in preparation for the interview, man, it just had me thinking of the lengths that I would go to protect my children, to give them everything that this world had to offer. This book is so much more than a story of survival. It's a battle cry for inclusion, a testament to faith's power to rewrite fate. Today, we're going to sit down and we're going to unravel the raw, untold layers of this extraordinary journey. Just trust me when I tell you, man, be prepared to be moved, to be challenged, and forever changed by the lives of two brothers who redefined what it means to truly live. This is something special. Sit back and strap in. Here we go. Kathy, first and foremost, welcome to People of Distinction, and thank you very much for being a guest. How are you doing today?
Thank you, Benji, and I appreciate this opportunity and have been looking forward to it. Thank you.
Of course. Listen, Kathy, we appreciate having you here. Like I mentioned, your book has a lot of nuance, and there's a lot of readers that will pick it up and find value. But there is something about, from a parent's perspective, my goodness, man, this is powerful stuff, and a lot of people are going to be able to gravitate towards it. So let's jump right in. Without further ado, let's start off at that foundation and learn more about yourself. Kathy, tell us more about your background.
I was born into a farming community. My family were farmers. My dad was a World War II veteran, and he was a civil engineer. So I grew up in that atmosphere, a very small community in rural northeast Mississippi called New Site. I went to the little school called Marietta, and when I graduated, there were only 12 of us in the class that graduated. Wow. When I graduated, I had entered college at my junior year. By the time I finished high school, I had my associate's degree as a laboratory technologist. I worked in the shirt factory when I was 16 years old. And when I graduated from high school and junior college, laboratory technology just didn't seem to fit. So I was looking at other things, so I went back to work at the little shirt factory. In the meantime, I married, and I had my first son 2 years later, and he was born with a disability. We weren't aware of it until he was over a year old. And I began looking at going back to college to learn some way to help him. And then I had my second child 3 years later. He was also born with a disability, which was not apparent until he was almost a year old. So I entered college. I started out with special education, but I was encouraged not to do that because I would do burnout. I couldn't do my children and a class at the same time. So I went into clinical psychology, which I graduated from the University of Mississippi, Ole Miss. And from there, I was catapulted into actually the political arena. I got divorced and moved to Jackson, Mississippi, where I become an advisor for the governor, Ray Mabus. And from there, it just catapulted.
Kathy, there you have. Listen, man, you have a very impressive background. Now, I have a lot of questions that I'd love to go into, but one thing that I just can't find out my answer to, right? I'm trying to piece together and connect the dots. What happens when you assume, Kathy, so I'm not going to do that to you. As remarkably impressive as your background is, I didn't hear writing as a part of it. So I'm left being very curious. How did you begin as a writer? What inspired you to embark upon this creative journey?
Had a lot of writing experience in the political arena for the government, as well as I did also work for some universities, so I did some writing for universities. So I had the background in writing, but when my sons passed away in 2022, and they had such a remarkable story that it took me 3 years before I was able to really sit down and write it. I learned, God told me use that skill and write this story because the world needs to see this and hear this.
Kathy, listen, without further ado, the anchor, of course, is all about your amazing book, Hearts of Gold. Tell us a little bit more about it.
Hearts of Gold is because they were pure-hearted, just pure-hearted, full of love. They showed everyone God's love. They never gave up. Regardless, they were totally disabled, totally dependent on everybody else, but there was no obstacle they did not attempt to do. They just learned and showed us that they could do it in a different way. They were encouragement for all of us. The broken bodies, they never walked. They never talked as you and I do. They never did the normal things, but they enjoyed life to the fullest.
Kathy, I'm curious here with this next one, and especially because, listen, a remarkable journey, but having this come on the heels of your son's passing must have been incredibly difficult for you to go through this. I want to dive a little deeper here. Tell us about your experience writing this book.
Oh, Benji, it was a difficult task.
Yeah.
And I will tell you that I wrote it 3 times before I was able to get some of me out of it so Shawn and Jason would be the topic. It was a healing process for me. Yeah. Even though it was excruciating and painful, it was actually a healing process for me. In the process, I actually felt my sons coming to life again through the book. And to share the joy and the funny things that they would do, how they learned how to overcome obstacles. It's just so, the funny things that are in the book that they do is just amazing.
Absolutely. People, I'm telling you, we've barely scratched the surface. And this is why you got to head on over to Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Walmart. Man, listen, there are so many places where you can pick it up. The best thing you can do, type it into a search bar and be greeted with all of them. you know where to go. Remember, the book is called Hearts of Gold, Broken Bodies, Immeasurable Blessings. Make sure to check back in frequently. As I mentioned before, there is another book, a continuation that you're going to want to get, still in creation. That one is also going to be entitled Hearts of Gold, Broken Bodies, Shaped by Challenges. Head on over there, pick up your copies today. Kathy, a follow-up question that I want to go into, and listen, you've already started to broach the topic previously. Now I want to go even further. Your title is remarkably compelling. Listen, there's a lot of intrigue there. It stops you in your tracks and makes you want to peer in further. I want to go in depth. Talk to us more about the title of the book and why you chose it to be the representation.
Benji, the title, Broken Bodies, Immeasurable Blessings, is the fact that my sons' bodies totally didn't work. They depended on everybody, yet they were the most amazing individuals that any of us was around. The testimonials back that up also.
Listen, once we go into the book and we read more about their lives, there's no question as to how perfectly titled the book is. Because I'm right there with you. And just from the excerpts that I had read, Kathy, I'm telling you, it was the perfect title that was chosen. So I love the fact that you did it. And thank you very much for articulating it further, because this is something that offers so much. Kathy, who would you say is the intended reader for this book? And what is the main message that you hope that they take from it after they've concluded?
The main audience, of course, is families and parents of children with disabilities, but beyond that is the governmental agencies that serve them, the universities that teach the professionals that will serve them, the professionals that are out there that will serve them for a more complete understanding, and to understand that there is no limitation. Give them freedom to think and do. Believe in them and in God.
My follow-up now, and listen, we've discussed a lot of information here. Is there anything else you'd like to let our listening audience know before we let you go?
I would just like to, for the audience and the readers, to know that our main goal is for everyone to understand that regardless of the limitations, regardless of the situation, with God, all things are possible.
Kathy, I love what you just said. I love what this book represents. And one thing that while we were doing research and preparation, but also through this discussion, that I keep coming back to in my mind, your sons, Shawn and Jason, man, their story is a testament. And it proves that the most fragile bodies can house some unbreakable spirits. And that love, when wielded with courage, can reshape the world. And I know that sounds like a cliche, man, but I firmly believe it. There is so much to be gained here. Their legacy on the forefront of it all. This is an invitation, people. It's an invitation to see strength where others see limitation. And for anybody out there that's listening in that either has a handicap themselves or has someone within their family or their close circle, you understand that handicap, unfortunately so, in the society and the world that we live in, it becomes a title. It becomes a cross that those individuals have to wear. I'm here to say that title doesn't have to be a negative one. Now, I know society at large sometimes will view it that way. And that's the reason why I look at this book and I'm like, man, this is so powerful, because it's going to offer hope where others see impossibility. So to everyone listening, man, I hope, and it's something I'm going to say that I hope, even though I know. so I can be hopeful, but there's no way you can pick up this book and read it and not feel this way. Their lives are going to ignite your own fire. It's going to ignite that fire within you to fight, to believe, and to love without borders. And that is something that is in extremely short supply right now. Doesn't look like there's a whole lot of love that's happening. I'm not going to go too much in depth with it. It's not the time for it. But you all know what I'm talking about, man. There's a lot of division. A book of this magnitude when you read in between the lines, is much larger than just Shawn and Jason's story. And this book is going to be a catalyst for change and for so much in your lives. So again, it's Amazon, it's Barnes & Noble, Walmart, it's a whole host of other places. It's called Hearts of Gold, Broken Bodies, Immeasurable Blessings. Be on the lookout for the next one that's soon to be released. And just make sure that you keep the name Kathy Pounds Graham in the back of your mind, because it's one to be remembered. And this is a book that needs to be added to your shelf. You know where to go. Pick up your copies today. Kathy, this has been a true pleasure, an absolute honor. Thank you for writing these amazing books, but most importantly, thank you again for being here with us to discuss it through people of distinction.
Benji, you hit on every ounce of my heart. You've been a blessing.